Viewers, welcome to the talk show Promising Bangladesh, sponsored by Crown Cement. And this is Sinha M.A. Sayeed, anchoring this very talk show. Today we will discuss the matters related to Israel-Palestine war, political landscapes in Bangladesh and Cyber Act in Bangladesh. And to suit the very purposes, we have invited two guests, and they are, from my right, Mr. Mostafa Kamal Majumder, editor Green Watch, and he was also editor of Daily New Nation. Well, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
And on my left is Mr. Lt.General retired Aminul Karim, a political scientist. At the same time, he is a security expert and he wrote many books on this issue. And how are you, Mr. Karim?
Yeah, thank you very much. My pleasure, to be here.
Well, Mr. Kamal Majumder, you know very well, you are a journalist in this line for a long time. What is your observation about the Cyber Act, which is nothing but the further development of immediate past Digital Security Act?
Yeah, many people say this is old water in new bottle. Actually, the problem is if police can take cognizance of any offense that again in their opinion an offense and instantly make arrests, that's a draconian law. There is no protection against this. They have made changes only in respect of punishment, but that again a big amount of fine, which ordinary journalist will not be able to afford to pay. So as you have said, this Digital Security Act is in a new form, Cyber Security Act.
Well, thank you very much. Mr. Aminul Karim, what is your understanding?
Yeah, I think I go with what Mr. Mostafa Kamal has just said, and I think people are writing a lot on this in different newspapers, in talk shows. I follow it. I'm not a journalist per se, but I think if you have a draconian law on the freedom of expression, freedom of thought, freedom of conscience as enshrined in our constitution, well then you can't have real democracy in the country. For the betterment of democracy, I think freedom of expression is very vital. And if you put such barriers, constraints on your thought process, people cannot express things clearly. And then democracy will not develop or grow. It will not go from one wave to the other wave, as Huntington has talked about, 3 waves of democracy. So then it gets stumbled.
Thank you very much. Now the main question is, you know very well there is war between Israel and Palestine. What are your observations at the same time? What are the possible consequences we are likely to have very soon?
Yeah, that's a very challenging question, and thank you very much, Mr. Sinha, I think. And that's the talk of the town or the talk of the country or talk of the world. You see all the channels are talking only about this. Very unfortunately, last night there was a missile attack on a civilian hospital. They were all civilians, patients, and 500 people got killed. And this is giving a big change, shift. It is going to be a game changer. That's how I look at it. I was listening to a channel, they were saying it's an inflection point. It is going to be a tipping point. And let me just describe the Middle East area. You know, there's a junction point of 3 continents, Europe, Asia and Afghanistan. And you'll always find there's some disturbance in this area. Geopolitically speaking, historically speaking, so long there was oil and gas and all those things. So now America has become self-sufficient on their oil, fossil fuels, but the world needs it. China needs it, Japan needs it, South Korea needs it, Europe needs it. So that is giving rise to tensions. And this Palestine issue is a very old, starting from Balfour Declaration of 1917. These are all the, the brainchild of the British and the French colonizers. They did, through UN they got this state created for the Jews. They were being, because of the Holocaust by Hitler, they have to be settled somewhere. They initially selected 3 countries, 2 in Africa, I think one was in Uganda, Ethiopia and this Palestine area. But they ultimately put it here. There was in 1910 there was not a single Jew in that land. But today they are the majority country. And how can you uproot that entire population who have been living there for, and they have a very good civilization. Palestine Muslims had very high civilization, long time. They used to have trade and commerce with with Europe, with Asia, this and that, very developed civilization they had. But it got totally disrupted, they are uprooted, they took shelter in Jordan, they took shelter in Egypt, they took shelter in some of the African countries. And then Israel, fine, the state was created, fine. But you have to live with amity, peace and prosperity, so that but you time and again you find problems. The war of 1948, the war of 1967, the war of 1973, and then Intifada one after is going on. And today I think, I understand Hamas has not done a very mature work. I would say this is very maturely handled, and they shouldn't have gone for a offensive like that. And then people are suffering. Already because of this pact, the Abraham Pact, they have normalized relations with Bahrain, UAE, Qatar and all those. This was not to the liking of Hamas. So they have to give something, they have to draw the attention of the people. Otherwise, two-nation theory is gone. Two-state theory is gone. It came from that Oslo Accord. Oslo Accord is practically dead now. Israel doesn't want two-state, to my understanding.
Well, we'll come to you again.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Mr. Mostafa Majumder, what is the views that are going on?
As General Aminul Karim has said, I partially agree with what he has said about the Hamas action. But if you look at the recent developments there, you will find that Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, has in the last UN General Assembly meeting showed a new flag, new map, where he has made Gaza and West Bank part of what he termed Greater Israel. That means they don't exist. That's one. And number two, Hamas has codenamed the offensive as Al-Aqsa flood. There has been disturbances over there,
Correct.
Police raid, and in their opinion, dishonoring of the holy site. These are the things. And not even a month has gone that Benjamin Netanyahu has shown the Greater Israel map. So we don't want any unrest or conflict that causes bloodshed. But what else they could do? Because as General Aminul Karim has said, the ball has started spinning at least. You see, because of the attack on the hospital,
Correct.
the meeting of President Biden, which was scheduled to be held tomorrow at Amman with Arab leaders, 3 Arab leaders,
Correct.
Mahmoud Abbas, and then President Al-Sisi and Muhammad of Jordan.
King Abdullah, yeah.
Sorry, King Abdullah. That meeting is not taking place.
Not taking place.
They have stopped that meeting.
Correct.
And Biden has no option but to go to Israel only.
Correct.
I think what they are doing, every day Israel is building new settlements.
Correct.
Not really every day, but that is one kind of expression. They are not, they are called an apartheid. In all possible way, they are disrespecting, depriving and removing Palestinians from their land and establishing new settlements. That is the scenario in West Bank. Maybe in Hamas they were away for some time, but they have established walls. But what they are actually doing, even Jews, prominent Jews in Europe are speaking out.
Correct.
We cannot accept this. they are killing people without showing any reason, as if they can do whatever they like. So, viewed from that perspective, and again there is also a factor to be taken into consideration, the Abraham Accords plus Saudi Arabia's willingness to have friendship with Israel. Yesterday a newspaper from the West wrote that the Hamas action has proved Israel should go away from the one state notion and come to the two-state solution. Otherwise there will be no lasting peace there.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Mr. Aminul Karim, we will continue even in the second phase, but let us start from here. You are a political scientist, at the same time you are a military strategist. And you wrote many books on international affairs. And everybody knows very well that whenever you talk very authoritatively.
That's fine. Thank you.
What is your overall focus on the issues taking place in the Middle East?
Yeah, that's a good point. It is making a turning point. It is turning the entire scenario. It is not. You see, in 1973 war, initially the Egyptians got the victory or the Syrians got the victory, but later on the Americans came in directly and it got changed. Fine, but then still they felt good that yes, we can fight with the Israelis. Arabs are not good at fighting so far, except the Egyptians. That's to my understanding. As you said, as a military general, yeah. But then Sinai was occupied by, before that, Sinai was, in 67 war, Sinai was occupied by Israel, and they had to give it back to the Egyptians, because Egyptians recaptured that in 73 war. Now after that it got absolutely quiet and cool, except some bit of disturbances settlement wise. In fact, that Gaza Strip, and you call that these are all Israel is occupying the whole thing. 60% of the land is occupied by the Israelis, as per the Oslo Accord. There are three sections there, one controlled by the Palestine and one controlled by both the sides, and the other side 40% or 60% of it controlled by the Israelis by itself. Even they have developed road network. In one of the lanes only the Palestine can travel, other they can't travel there. If they want to go to a hospital, they have to take clearance from many sources. It's a kind of apartheid is working there. So they have pent up frustrations, grievances, and there's an outburst of that. And this is resonating in the area in the sense Hezbollah is coming forward. Iran might come forward. There's a possibility. My hunch is like that. Saudi Arabia has already said they will not go for any more discussion or relation with Israel, because they were supposed to sit down and normalize the relations. Abraham, as our learned editors talked about Abraham Accord or Peace Pact. Now Egypt is one good military, Iran is one good military. I am not saying it should take a turn of a
Mr. Code, but you have never mentioned what the UN resolution was. Please explain the whole thing in the light of overall focuses.
Some time back, I still remember, I was listening to, I think many times, about 20 years back or something like that, there was a talk show on BBC on this issue. I still remember, clearly remember that. A historian from some good university from London, he was saying that Israel has not honored a single UN resolution so far passed, has not honored a single resolution that the UN Security Council has passed, and especially the resolution 242 and 338. After the after the Oslo Accord, they are supposed to withdraw their military from Gaza Strip and also that
West Bank.
They have not done so. Now this is rule-based order. If we talk about rule-based order, is this a rule-based order? You have to honor the UN Security Council. But fine, you live and let them live, fine. But you have to give them basic amenities of life to the Palestine. Gaza, they are divided. Palestinian people are divided. One is Hamas group, and this is Palestine Liberation Army or whatever you call it, PLA, and they have a government now. They call it State of Israel. Fine, and that has been accepted by ratified by UN. That's why they can sit in the UN Security Council as well. They have got the observer status. But these two, resolution 242 and 338, they are supposed to withdraw from the lands they occupied in 1967 war, which has not been honored. That's a very important point. And Camp David was signed in 79, fine. Egypt got back Sinai Peninsula, fine. My hunch is, you can't defeat a nation. They may be very weak, but historically seen, you cannot defeat the nationalistic fervor of a nationality. Now, these Palestinian people, they have a nationalism inside them. You can't really, bombs cannot destroy that. There is, I'll just quote from a professor from Harvard University. He just said, nationalism is the most powerful political weapon of a nation. They're coming back. Intifada 1, Intifada 2, 3, they're coming back one after another. Even 2005, they fought with the Gaza, with Hamas. Israelis withdrew back out from there. Fine, that's good. It was going fine. But the Hamas was slowly and gradually developing themselves, and they got a lot of missiles. Fine. Probably Iran was in the planning. There is a BBC. I was listening to the BBC. Somebody saying that Iran was directly involved in planning this operation. If not so, but at least they are helping them by providing the weapon and money and so on and so forth, or military training maybe. And 2007 they fought in Beirut with that guerrilla group. This is Hamas and that's Hezbollah. Hezbollah gave a tough time to the Israeli forces. They had to withdraw. They fought for more than 30 days at a stage, and they had to withdraw after some time because they were very good in trench warfare. This Hezbollah group was very good in trench warfare, and they had to withdraw. It's a kind of defeat for the Israeli. Israel has one of the most modern armies of the military of the world today. They are called superpower in the Middle East. Now this is under challenge, and this is what is called the day of inflection. The time of inflection has come. It's a tipping point. It's a turning point. I can see that. You see, people's support is very important. It is the people's support that will matter. Even America is toned down. Biden, before coming here, he gave a statement that you cannot afford to kill the civilians in the hospitals. Well, no, I cannot accept that. Israel is an occupying power. As an occupying power, you have certain responsibility. As an occupying power, you cannot deny the basic amenities to the victims. Like, you cannot tell them Gaza people or the Hamas to move to south. No, it is absolutely, UN Secretary General has objected to that. You cannot ask them to move away from there. They have, wherever they are, they have to stay there. Even in the warfare, we maintain the Geneva Convention. You have to follow that. Sorry, otherwise you have to be on the deck of the war crimes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Karim. I will come to again.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Mostafa Majumder, there is a proverb: in war and love there is no rule. Is it true in case of war indeed?
It's maybe true in case of love, but not in case of war. Because there are many rules, as General Aminul Karim has mentioned. There are many conventions, there are many treaties that govern conflicts. One have to adhere to those. But yes, Hamas has done the offensive. Many people say it is a shame on Israeli armed forces, and many people say it is the most powerful intelligence agency, Mossad. How they could afford not to see it before it came to action? There are speculations that maybe Mossad and the Israeli military did allow this to happen so that they can go for bigger action. Because that suits with what Benjamin Netanyahu said in the United Nations on Greater Israel. So you see, as General Aminul Karim has said, there is no life in Gaza and West Bank. There is nothing that they can get freely. Everything is controlled by Israel. They cannot even move away from their land without permission of Israel. Only Hamas has a passage with Egypt, but West Bank does not have. They cannot willingly go to Jordan.
Correct.
So this is one kind of domination, and they denied the basic rights. And I have seen photographs that Palestinian families working, and suddenly some people have come and kicked them.
Correct.
This is plain and simple apartheid. And Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday said, each and every Hamas member should die. I think you have noticed that. Who can say this? Only Hitler can say this. Hitler, who killed the Jews, or the fascist like Mussolini can say this. Human beings cannot be condemned to death like this, because human beings are rational. Hamas is ready to accept the existence of Israel. They have said this in 2017, that yes, we agree to the existence of Israel, provided they come back to the 1967 borders. That they have said. So has Israel responded positively to that? Unfortunately not. They are doing as if they can do as they like. And I think time has come for the lone superpower in the world to think properly. Are they actually promoting democracy? And the present Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said they will establish Greater Israel through friendship with other Arab nations.
Thank you very much. Mr. Aminul Karim, the question of Greater Israel, at the same time they have shown the map in the parliament, the Knesset, I think the Knesset.
Yes.
It means they have intention to go further and they don't believe in Gaza. But again and again Hamas has asserted that we believe in two-state.
Correct.
On the borderline of 1967.
Correct.
This is the first time the two-state concept is getting strengthened day by day. What is your approach to this?
Actually, two-state system was greatly taken forward by President Clinton. He took these two parties in Camp David and had extensive negotiations, and the Israeli Prime Minister Begin was
and
there.
Anwar Sadat, they got the Nobel Prize.
No, this was Arafat and the Prime Minister.
Yes, Arafat
and Begin. Yeah.
Begin, yeah.
Yeah. Raphael Begin. He got assassinated. He was killed by the ultra-rightists from Israel. And Netanyahu is part of that actually. He never accepted this two-state theory mentally. He never accepted it. Never. So he got assassinated. That fellow got assassinated. That Prime Minister. He got a Nobel Prize, as you said. Correct. Even Yasser Arafat also got a Nobel Prize for that. And that was Camp David in 73, 74 or whatever. Yeah. Now, it is almost has become impractical to develop two-state now, because I have traveled that area actually. I was in Jordan. I walked across that dead river, and I have seen that area. You know, Israelis are there everywhere. You know, there is nothing called Gaza Strip and nothing called those West Bank. You know, they have given some land, and in between they have got a military mini cantonment. I have seen it myself, practically. So they are blocked everywhere. They are restrained everywhere. They don't have freedom of access, freedom of movement, freedom of not to talk about freedom of expression and so on and so forth. Only thing Arafat got was a kind of self-governance in Palestine, and it has been accepted by UN, and he could move around, and he got some freedom in education, public health, some periphery areas, but he was not given they did not have, they can raise only police force, up to that was allowed as per the Oslo Accord. And at a time came when Yasser Arafat was about to declare unilateral declaration of independence, but America threatened, well, if you do that, we'll be in problem. Now, two-state solution, Israel thinks that's not possible, but there is a point here. Now the commentators are saying that America has to devise a means. If you two-state concept is not there, then what else you have to find out something, otherwise you cannot cool them, keep them under your feet like that. No, you can't do that. You cannot keep a nation suppressed like that. No, they will come back, they will come back and come back and come back. And 73 was a good, what is that ragtag guerrilla in Iranian guerrilla?
Oh, yeah, Hezbollah.
Hezbollah gave a good beating to the Israelis. And this is another, but yes, I agree. What is their plan to count? No, there will be repercussions from the Israeli. Because they have a very modern army. Their tanks are very superb tanks, best of the tanks, best of the aircraft, F-16, F-15 and so on and so forth. America is providing those directly to them. It's difficult to fight with them.
Actually, we are calling, or we are looking for democracy, and but the minimum requirements for democracy does not exist. In modern understanding of democracy, the state is a social contract, and people surrender some of their powers for greater good. But here, those who come to power want to override them. They don't care about good elections, participation of the people in elections, and this is an open thing now, openly discussed. And the social contract in today's context is the constitution. That is the social contract. Here, the government says we have the constitution. Opposition says we have to redo it. We have to remake the state. What they say, we will remake the state. The state in its form cannot function. So where lies the gap? Gap is over election. Credible elections are not taking place. One of the solutions, and that too was because of long protracted movement of 3 years of Awami League and its allies, that the caretaker system was established. The process in which that system was abolished is questionable, and it is being questioned by other parties. There is no opposition party worth the name that don't question the change of the constitution by doing away with the caretaker system.
Well, just if you, one question is that, do you think that without dialogue, there shall be a conclusion at all?
I am not very optimistic about dialogue, because dialogue is the solution. I agree with you. Democracy is based on trust, based on belief in the goodness of man. Man is essentially good. If you don't believe that, if you say, oh, all these notions, they are anti this and anti that, This is not democracy. Every individual human being is a rational animal. There should be a treasure of respect for everybody, every party. They should accept each other. They should accommodate each other.
Well, we'll come to again. They should respect each other, accommodate each other. Lt.General Dr. Aminul Karim, you know very well the pulse of the people of Bangladesh. At the same time, what are going on in Bangladesh, you know very well. Failures to reach at the conclusion for a caretaker government through dialogue. Really a matter of great concern for us all. But even what is happening in Bangladesh, lot of high officials from America and European Union visited Bangladesh, and this is the last time, I think this is the last visit. Assistant Secretary of State, Mr. Arpin Akhtar. He made a statement in the same spirit of last USI, NID and IRI delegation visited pre-election polls. They made a statement with the 5 points. One of the points is dialogue. And the same thing echoed by the Assistant Secretary of State. So my asking to you is that all this will happen. Why the America even America is talking about dialogue? Why not they play the same role in the past? Why they kill the time?
Oh yeah, that's a different side of the coin, another side of the coin. Yeah, the geopolitics has come in here. America is finding more interest in this part of the world, probably because of the Bay of Bengal, and Bay of Bengal is linked to the South China Sea through Malacca Strait, and India has got a huge infrastructure, military infrastructure in Andaman Nicobar Island. They are going for a massive modernization. Chinese Navy is trying to creep into the Bay of Bengal. They want to come to Indian Ocean, and America is focused on China because they are going for a strategic competition with China, and they think China is an authoritarian country. We need more democracy, more democratic values, rule of law, freedom of expression, and so on and so forth. Fine, that's fine. You want to lead a life where the freedom is there for everybody, for all citizens, men and women, whatever. Now that is one aspect of the problem of this crisis. America is looking at it from their point of view, and they also want to encourage democratic values, norms, rules of law, democracy, and so on and so forth. Good constitution, good political culture, good understanding between the two major political parties, and it should be functional democracy. Now dialogue is the only way forward. I totally agree with Mr. Mostafa Kamal. Totally, dialogue is the only solution, and you can't keep three conditions, but you have to sit somewhere. Otherwise, what is the way out? You go that way and he goes that way. You can't solve the problem. Doing the party. Sorry, if the election is not participatory, inclusive, all inclusive, there is not going to be any solution. I have handled I was in the president's office when the crisis of 2007 was there. There is no point doing that. Problem will crop up, come back. You see, we had problem in 2014, we had problem in 2018, and we are again having problem in 2023. So what is the way out? You have to find out something. Haven't you done this in 1990? All people sat together and they gave the three-party formula, and they accepted to the caretaker government. I am not saying it has to be caretaker government. If you sit down in dialogue, I am more than sure something can be worked out even within the framework of the constitution. So I would urge the political parties from both sides of the spectrum, or come and sit down, talk. Something will work out. I am sure about that. And we have a lot of learned people in this country. We can take them as elites or as the guardian of the nation. There are good people. They can come and do the referring part of it, and something is going to work out. But over here, I just want to add one more point. I want to bring the economics and politics. Economics controls the politics, and politics controls the economics. Political economy part of it. Unless you are correcting this, the country is heading for a crisis. As I'm not a student of economics, but as I hear the big economists, especially Mr. Zahid Hussain, who was the lead economist in the World Bank, he said, our reserve is coming down very drastically. It is now about 17 billion or maybe 17 billion plus. That may be very dangerous. And our inflation is going is skyrocketing, the export earning has deteriorated, has come down, import has also come down. That's not good for economy, because unless you have the machineries, unless you have the raw materials, you cannot go for production. Unless you have the production, how can you export? Our remittance is going down. The dollar exchange rate is a big problem. It's a big problem. Most of the economists are saying, please have, even all around the economists have said, please have uniform dollar exchange rate. That is the key problem. Discipline in the banking sector. Money is being laundered out of the country, dollars. That has to control. Corruption is taking its toll everywhere in the society. Now, who's going to do that? Unless you are sitting together, and all these problems can be solved if you have a vibrant parliament. I personally strongly feel you have one vibrant parliament working where all parties are included, or major parties are included. Only then you can solve the problems of this country. Then the foreigners will not come and will be able to interfere in our internal matters.
Thank you very much.
That's how I look at it.
Very clear message at all. Mr. Mostafa Majumder, you have 2 minutes time. What's your conclusion?
Yeah, but General Aminul Karim has said, I fully agree with him. The thing is a vibrant parliament. Vibrant parliament was there.
Yeah, correct.
Unfortunately, it's no longer there. And economics, General Aminul Karim has spelled out a part of it. The whole story is more depressing. You cannot, state cannot make difference between people.
Correct.
State opportunities should go to all according to merit. It's not going. This is the complaint of the last 15 years. And unfortunately, in some cases, state machinery is used to tell which is not true for the benefit of the government. So these things have to change. We have to come back to the dictum: the Queen can do no wrong. The OC sitting at the police station cannot tell a lie. He is oath bound to tell the truth. The judge is oath bound to tell the truth. The minister is oath bound to tell the truth. And they have to be not to be partisan. This is a bigger problem.
Thank you very much. Your message is very much clear and transparent. Mr. Aminul Karim, you have 2 minutes to pass a message.
I'll just give one message. I'm not such an erudite scholar like Mr. Mustafa.
1 minute, you conclude.
Yeah, I'll conclude by, I think there's a problem between parliament and executive in Bangladesh. Parliament basically has become part of the executive. The Article 70 is creating problem. We have to address that. And unless parliament and executive are separated through separation of power system, this parliament will never be vibrant, and the country will suffer, because most of the powers are concentrated in the hands of the Prime Minister, who rules all the executive powers of the Republic. And that should be addressed. This is just a message I am giving to the politicians. Hopefully I am right.
And thank you very much, Mr. Kamal Majumder. And we are about to end this talk show, and before that I have to summarize in a short way. Well, viewers, we are about to end this talk show, and before that I will summarize what they say. They basically are of the same mind that Bangladesh is at a stage of reaching at a dialogue. Whether fruitful or not, there must be dialogue. At the same time, they spoke eloquently and unequivocally on Israel-Palestine issues and why the issues are so tense at this very moment, and what the conclusion likely to come in future. At the same time, they talked about Cyber Act and its consequences. And we believe what they talked, what they said, what they uttered, you listen to everything. It is up to you to judge what are wrongs, what is right. And with this thing in mind, thank you very much from this talk show. Well.